Team Teresa, Addie, and Jessica. All right, guys, let's get started. Really, really nice job. This is just as gorgeous work. Really, really good job here, guys. Yeah, I'm so pleased with this presentation thus far. I think you guys are really, really understanding what we're after here. So this is fantastic. I'm going to go through the presentation. And I'm just going to kind of make some comments on not only the content, but the presentation itself. So I've got a lot to throw at you, so just kind of give me a few minutes here. I'm just going to try to get that into the window. That should work, right? Okay. Okay, great cover. Looking good. Looking good. Let's go. Table of contents. Good job. Love the background. Really nice work there. Team members. That background image right there, that's a low resolution image. That needs to be replaced. See the pixelization right there? That's a low res image. Okay, team members, good job. Problem analysis. I think this is a good page. I think one of the things that really is important here is describing the problem analysis as an industry-wide issue that affects all, if not all, then a very great majority of individuals that have gone through or are going through this experience. So just be sure to include the problem analysis as an industry-wide. Now remember, the problem here is not that we're confronted with this design situation of designing a kiosk. The problem is that the whole process of buying a car, it's an industry-wide problem that is very uncomfortable and does not address these really the important and specific needs of many car buying individuals. I think that most people experience that the car buying whole process is more geared to the benefit of the dealership than the consumer. So again, as it stands right now, the situation is not human-centered design, and we're attempting to shift the situation into a human-centered design solution. Make this type of large financial purchase cause extreme anxiety as well as remorse after the purchase has been made. Negative experiences due to you got some unusual spaces here, guys, in your typography. There's a space there. There's one. There's a couple of areas that have there's one. Unusual spaces, and then I think there's a couple of other areas on different pages where words there is no space between words, so you really want to go through that. Okay, so yes, and I agree with this final statement. That's a really great summary. Decreasing purchasing stress will allow them to make an informed, confident choice about their chosen vehicle. Not only but also a confident and informed in choosing the correct vehicle. Okay, so it's we're going from it. This is really based on the starting point from the process to the actual purchase. So the everything is included, all encompassing in the overall, the overarching problem analysis, again, which is an industry-wide issue as opposed to individual dealership issue. Methodology, identify the discuss the needs of the project, which is understanding the needs of the consumer. Identify the discussion and discuss the needs for the project. Okay, yes, of course, the first thing in methodology is identifying the problem. The second thing, of course, is understanding the needs of the consumer. You guys have been paying attention here, man. This is HCD, definitely. This is design thinking. Utilize problem-solving methods to brainstorm, find solutions, and then execute other solutions through sketching. Okay, execute our solutions. One thing we need to include here, and this points to design thinking, is the iterative process. So in other words, it's not a linear process. We're not going to utilizing problem-solving methods to brainstorming ideas, finding solutions, then executing our solutions. It's more of utilizing problem-solving methods to brainstorm ideas, find solutions, implement solutions, test solutions, and then address the testing issues. So it's an iterative process. Okay, so after testing, you're going back and making changes based on the results of the testing before you go to your final design solution. That's important, guys, because that points to design thinking. Really important to include that that's an iterative process, a non-linear iterative process that requires that we go back and make adjustments, and then test, and then go back and make more adjustments, test, etc., etc. Okay, research findings. This is good stuff, guys. This is great. People's process good women report. Yep, this is fantastic stuff. That's a powerful, powerful page right there. Oh, back to okay, back to problem analysis again. That's a low resolution image. We can see pixelization here. That will have to be um, replaced. And then, of course, there's those unusual spacing areas that we have here. Methodology, that's good image. Everything's good here. Um, Theoretically, you should have either these are bullets. I think it would be better if these were bullets instead of numbered, and the bullets will hang too, right? So this, yeah, the indent for the bullet would define the indent for the entire set of type. So the bullet would be what's called hung. So the bullet doesn't start the margin. The bullet is outside the margin. Then all the margin is aligned, left aligned. Okay, that's a typographic widow. You don't want that. That's a word that sits on a line alone, typically at the end of a paragraph. Again, there's some unusual spacing right there. Okay, research findings, 80%. Just went through that page. That's a great page. And that's another page where your methodology. Oh, I did want to talk about methodology. We don't find the project. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm confusing myself here. I already did. Oh, I do want to talk. Yes, there is some things I want to talk about. Methodology page. Identifying the discussion needs of the project, which is to create a vehicle configure kiosk. So again, here I just want to reinforce that create the needs of the project. That this is not really. I mean, we're thinking deep dive here, guys. We're not. This is not the solution here. Is not to create a vehicle configurator kiosk. The solution is to change the way that the car buying process, the normal procedure for buying a car. That's what we're really after. We're not designing a kiosk here. We're really after changing the whole process. Again, guys, deep dive, so think about that. Understanding the needs of the consumer, absolutely. Utilizing problem-solving methods to brainstorm ideas, find solutions, and then execute our solutions through sketching, creating wireframes of it. Don't forget to add testing in here, guys. Utilizing problem-solving methods to brainstorm ideas, find solutions, and then execute our through sketching, creating wireframes of what an interface would look like, testing the wireframes, and then reiterating, so making adjustments after the test, and then creating the presentation. Okay, so don't forget the testing stage in there. And guys, the reason I'm mentioning all this is because for someone, I'm really shooting, I'm after your portfolio. So if each individual student in this group elects to include this piece in their portfolio, it's going to be very, very highly functional in terms of describing the intent and the associated outcomes as they relate to human-centered design, deep dive immersion, design thinking, etc. Okay, so that's why I'm putting these things in here, adding these little things that just kind of reinforce for the viewer to understand exactly the approach here. Because if you don't, if there's certain areas that if you don't mention, it's not indicative of design thinking or HCD, etc. Okay. All right, methodology, research findings. Yes, talked about that. Ethnography. This isn't necessarily ethnography, guys. I would call this, and again, this points to presentation. But you don't want to use terms incorrectly. So this isn't technically ethnography is when you put a camera on someone or somehow you view somebody. It's in part of the testing stage, and it's basically you're viewing somebody in their natural habitat, and you're looking for signs and clues that can help you with the design and or implementation of any specific solution. So ethnography, you would in this case, this wouldn't be called ethnography. This would be called test questions. Or something like that. Okay, ethnography is something a little bit different. So these are basic questions. It's just a basic questionnaire, right? So ethnography, if this were a true ethnographic study right here, you would give these questions and you would allow the viewers to answer them in their own natural habitat, in their own cultural environment, so that you could see how these changes and how the answers reflect to individual and certain cultural subgroups. Okay, so again, this wouldn't be called ethnography. This would be called testing criteria or pre-test criteria or something like that. Solution. Okay, the solution here, our team solution is it's not to create. And again, guys, it's not, you're not creating a vehicle, a configurator kiosk. That's not the solution. The solution, our team's solution is to change the way the perceived normal purchasing process is expedited in this country. Okay, that's what you're after. You're not after designing a kiosk. That's part of it. But the main solution is changing the way folks purchase cars. The whole process, the whole procedure needs to be changed. Um, I think this is great. Yeah, I think this is great. So financing and things, customers can access the application prior to visiting the auto dealership. That's super important. That points to the fact that you're going to have a mobile app that's the same as the app that you use when you get to the dealership. So don't forget, somewhere in here, mention that you can configure your car using a mobile app, send it to the dealership. They'll send you a code or something like that, so that when you do go to the dealership to get to look at the VR projection, you just punch your code in, and it brings up all your information, and it's able to load that into the VR configurator. Um, uh, Virtual reality projection or the headset. Okay, next page, features. This again, low resolution image, that'll need to be changed. Our showroom kiosk allows customers. This features page is really important. It's so important that I would say let's not use in body numbering system. I would use this as a bullet list, as we talked about before. And the only reason is because I think that there's some things that can get missed here. I think these are all very, very, very important, to the point where I would enumerate them or bullet them so the viewer can have privy to each individual feature as it relates to the success of the entire set of features. Enter information specific to their car buying needs. Okay, kiosk. Enter information. So is that via questionnaire? That could be a via questionnaire as well. So you answer a quick questionnaire, and they'll give you their recommendations for the models that would be most suitable for you based on information pertinent to your physical stature, height, weight, etc., your driving habits, your spending needs, your income, etc., etc. Got to make sure that we're suited to the right model. Become familiar with the vehicle models that are available. Yeah. Solidify their financing options. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is so important. Yeah. Things like this, solidifying your finance options, your resale options. You know, what can you have a calculator in here to help try to figure out what the car is going to be worth in 10 years with 150,000 miles on it or whatever. That's something that you can also include. Insurance quotes. That's so important. Explore options and build a vehicle based on customer needs. Excellent. View the dealership inventory. Yep, excellent. Utilize VR options to experience the vehicle choices, contract sales. Excellent, excellent. Market analysis. This is fantastic, guys. Outstanding. Okay, target customers. Mazda does not define their target audience by demographics. Okay, there's a mistake here, guys. This is called psychographics, not physiographics. It's psychographics, Psychographis. And this is basically what you're talking about here. So just do some quick research and take a look at the term psychographics. And this is what you're referring to right here, psychographics, not physiographics. Okay, kiosk design. And from here on, guys, this is fantastic stuff. Initial sketches. Okay, and we have Addie's initial sketches. Then we have final 3 ideas, innovative design. Excellent. These 2 pages are great. I was looking for these because these were called, let me see, detailed description of the final solution. Deep dive methodology and testing methods. So somehow here you want to add deep dive methodology here in your terminology. So innovative design and effectiveness of design could be a highly detailed description of how you use deep dive methodology. And I'm just bringing that over here from this list of requirements right here. This is from the Welcome to Week 7 announcement. and a detailed description explaining how the team used innovative design thinking. So be sure, this right here, innovative, innovative design. Just put innovative design thinking, because there's a difference between innovative design and innovative design thinking. Guys, I'm over 15 minutes. I didn't mean to do that, so I'm going to wrap it up. Effectiveness of design, excellent. A kiosk interface. From here on, I think it just gets really great, guys. So you have your interface, your storyboards, your personas. Really good stuff. I think we have our prototype testing. This is great. Did you guys take a look at the examples? That one Tesla example actually has a video embedded right in the PDF of the testing session. So I thought that was really fantastic stuff. Here's your testing session right here. Awesome, awesome. Um, VR, everything's great here. The only thing I'm not seeing here, guys, is some sort of a visualization of how the actual, how does we need to get the goggles in here. If it's a headset or a holographic projection, I believe you're using a VR, virtual reality goggles. So let's get those in here so we can really determine and see how the user will be able to interact with the projection of their car using the VR headset. That's the only thing I'm not seeing here. Otherwise, I think you guys are really, really doing a great job. I'm chuckling like that because this is almost ready for final submission. You guys are on top of things. All right, so let's just go through the presentation. Make sure you take a look at your typography. Watch your spacing. Watch that unusual spacing and look for words that don't have spaces between. Think about everything I've said in terms of typography. Watch your images. Going to have to replace any low resolution images. And other than that, I mean, we are just looking fantastic. So Team Teresa, great job. Any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. And I am really looking forward to seeing your final presentation. 17 minutes, sorry about that, guys. Trying to be quick, but trying to be thorough as well. Thank you very much.